What is up, YouTube? My name is Enigma Red, and today is the Kiss My Arrows tutorial. That's what we're doing today. So it's going to be a few tutorials. It's a lot to cover. I'm going to be going over everything from the tripwire system to how everything sets up, the waiting area when you choose the team, what's going on when you're actually playing in the arena, and even the game over section. There's a little bit to that. So this one is part one. It's going to be on the basics of the tripwire system, the game rules, and the scoreboard stuff. So let's dive right in. This is the tripwire system, and where pretty much everyone falls down and gets sent into the waiting area, which I will cover in just a second. But first, we have to talk about some simple things that's going on here. Every time they go into the tripwire system, the player's effects are cleared. Selector here basically just restricts everyone within a 50 block radius, and clears can't be more clear than that. So scoreboard players reset. Now this is really just anything that they have in a scoreboard is just taken out and they start again. And this one here basically clears all the players' inventory. So again, within the radius of 50, that's pretty much that, which pretty much covers this stretch right here. Alright, so this one here, player leaves team if on one previously. It basically just says that if they're on a team, it just kicks them off. So first off, they need to be in adventure mode so they don't destroy my map. Can't have that. So radius of 50, pretty straightforward. Spawn point, this is just if you die when you come back. Selector here, and these are just pretty much the coordinates to the actual waiting area. So if you got someone, if you notice, if you try killing each other in the waiting area, you'll notice you just pop back up in the waiting area. That's because of this command right here. And this one just teleports you to the very same coordinates. And we're gonna go to the game rules. Now the game rules are pretty simple. Mob spawning is do mob spawning is a game rule option where you can, these are all booleans, so these are the true or false, 1 or 0. And really what's happening with this one is if you don't want zombies spawning randomly in the world, you just get rid of it, set it to false, so this way you can kind of control where they're going to end up. Mob griefing is like if a creeper blows up, he can destroy a couple blocks. I think the default for them is radius of 3 blocks, so they can destroy your world. If you have a game with creepers, it's just gets messy, so get rid of them. Tile drops, this is in case you like say if you destroy a couple blocks and you see a little like if you destroy some stone, you see some stone blocks pop up. Those are the little tiles, and this sets it to false. This game doesn't really matter, but it's good to know. Mob looting is, do mob loot really is for, like, say Enderman, how they steal blocks. This prevents them from actually being able to steal the block. Again, true or false. Natural regeneration. So this is, even if you have full food bar, it does not allow you to regenerate. You pretty much lose some hearts, you lost some hearts, and that's your problem. So keep inventory. If you die, then you get everything back that you had. For this game, it made no sense to constantly have players have to get their inventory back, so you just keep it. And fire tick. This is if you have a fire and you place it somewhere, whether or not it'll spread. This is pretty much set to true, but I have a false. Not really necessary to put it in this game, but I have it here because I just pretty much have all the game rules just so that I can, you know, change it up for each game I need. Now, game rule command block output. This is if the command does something like sets a block. Usually it'll actually tell you set a block, but this one, for this game, it will get really crazy because there's a lot of set blocks, a lot of test fours going on. It would be messy in the chat. It's just easier to have it off. And this is really more for like testing. As I was testing, I had everything there just to make sure it's happening when it should happen. Game difficulty. Now this particular command has sort of become pointless, but it does kind of need to be spoken about. I'm not actually sure whether or not this will do much at this point, because everyone can change their own default in their world, but I have to look into that. But anyway, it's there. Take a look at that. Daylight cycle is basically, if you're in, if you don't want the time elapsing, so you don't want it turning to night to day, this will turn that off. So you don't have to really worry about a whole minecart contraption to keep it that way. Although I actually do have one of those in the world, just for safety. So, show death message. Now, this death message is basically like if a player dies. It's really simple. I have it set to true because you kind of want to know if you succeeded in killing someone or your team member. But there's another option in the scoreboard that I will go over shortly about that more in detail. So these are just blanks. I figured they add more game rules. I could just slap them right in there. This one is set the world spawn point, which happens to be right above the tripwire system, so the player falls right onto it. Pretty standard stuff there. Now, team setup. This one here is, pretty simple. It says team, you add the team. Blue team, and this one here looks confusing, but it's really not. Blue team here is basically what the command blocks are looking for. This is the name the command block cares about. Blue team. Blue squids here with the space in between. Very important. It has a space. So that's what the display is looking for. So like if you have it in a scoreboard on the sidebar, or you put it in a chat, the blue squids will actually come up, not the blue team. Now if you just so happen to call it the same thing, it doesn't make a difference, but that's just so that when you're displaying things, it looks a little better. And the red team, again, pretty much same format, and you can see Red Bull's hair. Friendly fire, this is a team options, and this is basically which team you want it to apply for. So you can see that there's a red and blue team. You can have it separately. Friendly fire is whether or not you can kill your own teammate. Now, some games that may be fun, but this one I didn't really think it was, made sense. That's a Boolean, true or false. Same thing for the red team, so I'm not gonna get into that. See friendly invisible. This for this game, it's not necessary. I was gonna put an option in at one point, but I decided not to. And this is another team options. It applies to the blue team. It's see friendly. The capitals are very important. Invisibles. Now this is the true, but honestly in this game there's no invisibility potion used, at least in the game as it's meant to be used. So really, it sort of doesn't make sense, but it's just there in case I put it in later. Name tag visibilities. This one, it's set to always. Name tag visibility, and again this V capital here is very important. Pretty simple, and that is not the only option that has the same parameters. This one is another team options, and it applies to the blue team in this particular case, and it's death message visibility. Again, capitals are important, and this is hide for other teams, so that the other teams won't see when you died, but your team members can see, hey, so-and-so just died. And this one is pretty simple, another team options. The criteria itself is color. It applies to the blue team, and the color itself is blue. Now there are 16 different colors that you can pick, but I'm not sure that you'll ever see a game with 16 players. I could be wrong, but that would be freaking crazy. So now this is part of scoreboards, but this is an objective. This adds an objective called Blue Vengeance. Now what Blue Vengeance really is, when you kill the red team or someone on the red team, you basically this is a team kill. This is the criteria dot red. Now, so this is referring to whenever you get a team kill on the red, you get another score added to Blue Vengeance, which again, this is what the command block is looking for, and this is the display here. So say Blue Vengeance score is so and so, if you put it like in the sidebar chat or wherever. And red team's pretty much the same thing. This is team kill blue. Now for some reason this team kill does not address the actual team name. If you've noticed, it's actually addressing the color itself. Now this can get a little confusing if you have some sort of convoluted team-based system that uses similar colors. That would sort of get a little hairy, so it's best to really kind of stick with just, you know, simple stuff, whatever. But so anyway, that's Red Vengeance. Now this one here is really just something I did for testing. It clears and removes all players from the team. Not really something you're gonna have to use too much unless you're messing around and trying to build on this yourself. Alright, so that is the end of part 1, where we have covered basically the game rules, the scoreboarding, and basically the basics of the tripwire system. The next one will be on the waiting area, and we will go from there. So I'd like to thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you like, comment if you want, and I will see y'all later.